So this is me aged 14, 15.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually made me realise it's quite emotional for me to look at it. So this was following a riding accident.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't riding as such. I was trying to capture my horse.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on my own in a field and have no memory of what happened. So my memory is wearing white joppers, if you wear when you're riding,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and looking down, and my joppers were red.
Oh my God.
Oh, this is a bit odd, seeing red jods. Maybe that's my blood.
Yeah.
So I had no memory, and I had to get up on my own,
Mm-hmm.
open a gate and cross a road. And I remember a car going past, Hannah.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, if I'm hurt, that car would probably stop.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't. So I thought, well, maybe I'm just exaggerating this bit of blood.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got up, I opened a gate, I crossed a road, I locked the gate, and I went back to the house of the people that owned the horse.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you can imagine somebody's reaction when she looked. She said, oh, my goodness. And at that point, it started hurting.
Oh, my God.
And I thought, perhaps I have hurt myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I was taken initially to a local hospital, and I had such catastrophic injury that they couldn't do anything with it.
Oh, my God.
So I'd broken my nose, my cheekbone, the palate, the roof of your mouth, and my jaw as well. So I remember vividly my dad lifting me and scooping me into hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got transferred, you might have heard of East Grinstead Hospital, which isn't too far from here, is it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And where they do plastic surgery. They'd obviously done their fantastic work during the war.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to the children's plastics ward at East Grinstead and had the most incredible care. So they wired my jaws together. I actually woke up and they'd stapled my tongue to the wire inside. So
oh, my God.
that was a bit scary. So I had to get a pen and paper and write. You've wired my tongue in to the wires, so they had to sort of poke it out. So this picture is taken when I looked quite good, believe it or not. I think it's after the operation when the swelling had gone down. And so many memories about that experience that I hadn't realised that I still hold so much until I'd looked at it. So many things. Things like there were no mirrors in the hospital.
Was that purposeful?
Purposeful.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember going to the bathroom and there were no mirrors, so I couldn't see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until I had an X-ray. And you don't realise the X-ray machines are shiny. So I caught sight of myself in the X-ray machine, and that was really scary.
And what did you think when you saw yourself?
I think I was worried for everybody else as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We were a really tight family, and I was worried. I scared myself. I thought, I look really scary for me. What must it be like for my mum and dad to see me? I think I never thought I'd look okay ever again because my face came out at right angles.
Oh, my God.
And it's a bit interesting. We were talking before you hit record as well, and it lives with me to this day. So this side remains numb.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I feel slightly uncomfortable being looked at from this way around. So yeah, it's had a big impact on me. Big impact.
Yeah, it's interesting. Listeners, we'll bring you behind the scenes a little bit, as long as you're comfortable sharing this.
Absolutely.
We kind of had a conversation beforehand debating on what side Claire would be comfortable sitting on. And I just want to say that as much as I would have been fine switching sides, I think it's really honorable that you made the decision to kind of face your fears with that, because I think specifically with this podcast, I will be facing some of my fears as well, considering we're going to be speaking so much about death and end of life care, that I think it's going to be an episode of facing our fears for sure. Did you ever get back on a horse?
That's a great question. Yes and no. So some years down the line, I'd read a book called Horseboy about a gentleman that his name was Rupert, and his son was autistic, and he had set up a camp because he found out that by being on horseback, it generated a lot of activity in the boy. He became verbal.
Oh, wow.
And I think he was an American or a Canadian guy, and I heard that he was coming to the UK. So I thought, I can ride.
Yeah.
I'm a nurse. I've got experience of autism in my family. I thought, I can do this. I can help. So I went to Bodmin Moor with a tent, as you do, one crazy weekend, and spent a weekend at the camp. It was really interesting seeing the horses interact with the children. And the emotion they picked up through the children, it was incredible. And at the end of the camp, as a treat, I was allowed to ride back to the stables, take the horses back.
Oh my gosh.
And I was crap.
Yeah.
And I realised that I'm actually still scared, which makes me really cross. And the horse knew that I was scared. And I think the horse had also been working so hard with the children all week that it absorbed all their feelings and all the emotions and all the stress, maybe. So yes, I did get back on a horse, and I wasn't a great rider, but it's something that I want to do. I want to do again. Each time I see the fields cut in the summer, I remember riding across the fields, cantering across the stubble when they cut all the corn. So yeah. So yes and no. I have got back on a horse, but not brilliantly well.
And do you still hold that fear?
A mindfulness. I'm mindful of the animals because I didn't fall off. So I'm mindful of their strength. So it's a really unusual injury. So what we think happened was that the horse wheeled around, reared up, and his face simply smashed into my face.
Oh my
so I think
God.
I'm mindful of the strength.
Yeah.
The strength of them. It wasn't simply falling off. It was we think that's type of accident because there were no cuts. It was all simply breaks.
Oh, that's a really scary story. I don't know what else to say there, but that's a very scary story.